Hello, and in this part 2 IELTS speaking video, I'm going to talk about a prize you would like to win. You should say what it is, how you heard about it, what you would do to win it, and explain why you would like to win it. Now, this is a very tricky question because a lot of us have no desire, have no goals of winning a prize. So the thing I'm going to talk about is not something that is ever going to happen, but that is fine. As long as you are talking about something connected to the topic and I actually explain why I'm talking about this topic, then this is still a good answer. Remember, it's all about your language, not so much the content. You must give an answer that's connected to the topic and as close to the topic and answering the bullet points. I do answer all the bullet points, as you'll see when I go through the answer. But yes, it is not a prize I will ever win. So let's take a look at the model answer. To be perfectly honest, I'm not an ambitious person and I have absolutely no desire to win anything. So what I'm going to talk about is what I consider to be the ultimate prize in sport, and that is the World Cup. I hope it's okay to talk about this hypothetical situation. Obviously, I'm not a professional footballer, and I'm guessing it is too late to start training to be one now. So this prize is out of my reach. But if I were a pro footballer, then this would be my goal. In order to win it, I would undoubtedly need to train every day and dedicate my life to the sport. To play at the highest level, I would need to make a lot of sacrifices, such as nights out, binging on fast food or convenience food and such like. Having a healthy and nutritious diet must be a priority. Although I tend to eat healthily, I absolutely love pizza, so it would be hard for me to give up my favourite food. Mind you, if I wanted to be successful, I would have to make this sacrifice. I've been a football fan for as long as I can remember, and one of my earliest memories is watching the World Cup. Sadly, in my lifetime, my country has never won the trophy. However, they won it in 1966, before I was born, so it shows it can be done. In order to get picked for the national team, I would have to have a lot of talent, but also dedication. The best players are not always the most skillful, but they are usually the most dedicated to the sport. If I trained day in, day out, and got a contract with a top team in the Premier League, then I would stand a good chance of being picked for the national team. The national team is a squad of the best players in England. Getting chosen for the squad would be hard enough, but then I would need to get picked for the team. If I were lucky enough, then I would be able to represent my country and win the most coveted trophy in the world, the World Cup. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the language. If you're not interested in football, then use this answer to talk about another sport. I would recommend talking about a sport, or you may have a prize that you want to win and you can use a lot of the language. Notice in the answer I've used the second conditional a lot because it's an imaginary situation. It's not real. I'm not going to go through each one of those second conditionals. If you're not very good at the second conditional, then you must learn it. You must understand how to use it. It really is necessary for anything above 6. So to be perfectly honest, like I'm using every time in the video, so hopefully you will remember to use this rather than just saying honestly. Ambitious. If you are an ambitious person, you have lots of goals, you want to be a winner, you want to achieve a lot of things. And I'm giving a reason for not really wanting to win a prize because I'm not an ambitious person. I have absolutely no desire. To have no desire is no wish, no want to win anything. So I'm going to talk about the ultimate prize. This is like the top prize. The ultimate is the highest, the top, the best. And then I'm just going to say, I hope it's okay to talk about this hypothetical situation. I'm not expecting the IELTS examiner to stop me or to answer this, but I wanted to get some complex vocabulary in here. A hypothetical situation is a situation that's not real. It's like an imaginary situation. So obviously, so I'm saying, it's obvious I'm not a professional footballer. And I'm guessing it's too late to start training. When you are a sports person, you train. It's out of my reach. That means it's not possible for me to achieve it. If you reach for something, you try to grab it, you try to get it. It's out of my reach. If I were a pro footballer, so professional, you can shorten to pro, this would be my goal, my ambition, my desire. Dedicate my life to. So whatever you're talking about, you might need to dedicate your life to, and it means focus on this one thing. I would need to make lots of sacrifices. If you make a sacrifice, you give up something here. So I stop going out, stop eating fast food. So I'm giving up things. This is to make a sacrifice. Nights out means going out at night. So to restaurants and parties. Binging on. It's quite a useful word. I've mentioned in other videos to binge watch Netflix. It means to watch a lot of programs in a short period of time. If you binge on fast food, you eat a lot of it. Fast food, so takeaway food, convenience food, is packaged food you buy in the supermarket. And such like. When you are doing a list and you just want to end the list, you can say and such like, and it means and other things like this. A healthy and nutritious diet. This is why I think this is a good one to use a sport thing, because you can bring in things about diet. So healthy and nutritious, also important for IELTS writing. Must be a priority. This is also good for IELTS writing. The government must make climate change a priority. The most important thing. To give up, to stop eating. Mind you, I have a separate video on this. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you do. It's in the introduction to the course. And it's like an informal way of saying however or but. I would have to make this sacrifice. So whatever you're talking about, this is a very useful phrase, because if you want to win a prize or a competition, you usually have to make sacrifices. You have to give things up. So I've been a football fan for as long as I can remember, so a long time basically. The trophy, the World Cup, this is called a trophy. It can be done, meaning it is possible. In order to get picked, to get chosen, for the national team, so every country has its own team, like England, France, Portugal, Spain. These are the national teams. You need talent, so this is a bit like skill. But dedication, this means that you will work hard to achieve what you want. You will train every day. And if you have dedication, you are dedicated, you are focused, you are committed. Skillful, so this is similar to talented. So I've tried to get a lot of words in there to show my lexical range. Day in, day out, every day. Get a contract with a top team. So if you want to play football at a high level and then you are a good player, then a team like Arsenal will give you a contract. This is an agreement and you can play for them. A top team, so the best teams in the Premier League. I would stand a good chance. To stand a good chance is a collocation, and it just means to have a good chance of being picked, of being chosen for the national team. So football teams have a squad. This is usually 23 players, and from the 23 players that go to the World Cup, then the team is chosen, and the team is 11 players. If I were lucky enough, so useful for whatever prize or competition you are talking about, to represent your country means to play for your country. And the most coveted trophy, if something's coveted, it's wanted, it's desired. So the World Cup is the most coveted trophy in the world. So a lot of complex language in here, quite a tricky one, and I apologise if you're not interested in sport, but it was very difficult for me to think of another prize that lots of people might want to win. So this is why I've chosen this as my answer. Let's take a look now at a part 3 question connected with this topic. So they may ask you, should parents push their children to win prizes? To push means encourage them, but quite in a negative way. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. I'm in two minds. My heart says no, kids should never be pushed. But my head says that youngsters need to be taught to have a winning mentality, as the world is an incredibly competitive place and they need to know how to win. So there's a lot of questions in IELTS where you don't know the answer. Like, for example, this one. If you don't have children, maybe you don't know if parents should push their children. So a very useful phrase, I'm in two minds. So that's when you can't decide. So one half of your brain is saying yes and the other half is saying no. But we actually say, your heart, my heart says no, and this is usually a feeling based more on emotion. My heart says no. But my head says, and what your head says is usually based more on intellectual thought. So my head says that they should be pushed, they need to be taught to have a winning mentality. This is a brain that knows how to win. And this has always been the problem with English football, is that English players don't always have a winning mentality, because in schools in the UK, we are taught that winning is not important, it's all about taking part. And I think this is one of the reasons why we're not very good at winning trophies like the World Cup. So, very useful. You could use this for other part 3 answers. I'm in two minds. My heart says this and my head says this. And you've got some very complex language in there and you've got a nicely developed answer. Hope you found this useful. Thank you for watching.